Hello students, in this class we will discuss about the transformer equivalent circuit with resistance and reactance. This gives information regarding the equivalent circuit. Complete equivalent circuit. The complete equivalent circuit of transformer means which consisting of the resistance and reactance. What is the need in the transformer equivalence to equivalent circuit adding the resistance and reactance? Once again we will look at here. Generally transformer construction with core and windings. So you know the windings are made with the copper. These windings is nothing but the copper wire. Copper wire is a conductor. Every conductor have some resistance. That why transformer have generally two windings. One is primary, another one is the secondary. Primary winding have the resistance represents with the R1. Secondary winding represents with the resistance R2. Simple. And what is reactance? Inductance. Where is the magnetic flux lines is there? There is a inductive reactance is there. Here the inductance is nothing but X means inductive reactance. Inductive reactance we will get magnetic flux lines. Magnetic flux lines. The more number of magnetic flux lines will gives the inductance. Here in the transformer core itself the magnetic flux will be flowing actually. So generally whenever you observe the transformer construction, consider a core. Core is consisting a winding like this. Whenever the winding is like this, the flux will be flowing. Some flux will be flow through the core and entering into the other winding. This flux is known as the leakage flux. This area is known as the leakage flux. Wherever the leakage flux is there, automatically due to the leakage flux, leakage reactance will be produced. Leakage reactance will be produced. This is represents with the X. Why? The reason is inductance is produced by the magnetic lines. So that's why here the complete transformer is mixed with resistance as well as the inductance. This represents the complete equivalent circuit. Complete equivalent circuits. Now we will look into the equivalent circuit of the transformer. So this we can name it as the equivalent circuit. So look at here, this is the equivalent circuit of the transformer. In the last class we don't have this R1 and X1, R2 and X2. We are not considering these. So before that, just look at, and we have two windings again. Transformer has two windings. Transformer consisting of the two windings. One is the primary winding, another one is the secondary winding. Primary winding consisting of the primary leakage reactance represents with X1. Secondary winding consisting of the secondary leakage winding represents with X2. So this is about the resistance having the both primary resistance and reactance consisting of the primary winding as well as secondary winding, because transformer having the two windings. Okay. This is the equivalent circuit of the transformer. So you know already this is the primary winding representation. This is primary induced EMF. This winding is the secondary winding. secondary winding induced EMF E2, and if we are connecting a load, any load, if the load consisting of the voltage V2, if the load getting the current I2, and the same amount of load current, that's why we are taking the I2 dash, same amount of current will be absorbed by this I1 also. Same amount of current will be absorbed by the I1, that's why it is represents with the I2 dash. And every transformer having its no load branch, the no load branch consisting of the R0 and X0, R0 wattful component, X0 wattless component. X0 will absorb the magnetizing current I mu, R0 will take the current IW, this is the core loss component. This is the core loss component. And now the most important thing, the primary winding of the up to this you have an idea about the transformer. But we have two things. Look at here. This is the primary winding representation resistance R1 and primary winding reactance, that is, this is the X1. This primary winding, this is about the no load branch, this is R0 and the X0 representation. Then transformer will take the supply V1 and it will get the current I1. Then the current will be divided into two parts. One is I0, no load current. I2 dash is taken by the E1. Same as here, the secondary winding resistance is represented by the R2, secondary winding the reactance is represented by the X2, and load will absorb the power, that is the I2. Understand? So depends on the load, the current will be depends. If the load value increases, the current I2 value increases. Then R2 X2 also represents one part. Now we will write some points regarding the primary winding as well as the secondary winding. First, the primary winding points. This is about the secondary winding. Primary winding as well as the secondary winding. So primary winding side, we have supply voltage first. Before supply voltage, just primary winding resistance. This is the everything is the primary winding resistance. Primary winding resistance, this is, that is R1. And primary winding reactance. Primary winding reactance, this is the X1. Generally, primary winding having the, you know that primary winding induced EMF, E1, this is the induced EMF, and you know everything about this. Once again we will draw right here the total current, primary winding current equal to I1 is nothing but the I0 plus I2 dash. I0 plus I2 dash. Now simply I0 again, no load current is combination of working component as well as magnetizing component. Right. This is about the primary winding side. And primary winding have, you know, the resistance R0, reactance X0. Right. Next, secondary winding. Secondary winding side, same winding resistance. Secondary winding having resistance represents, this is the R2, and secondary winding have the reactance represents with X2, and secondary winding induced EMF winding same induced EMF equal to E2, right? And secondary winding current is nothing but the I2. And secondary winding side we have load voltage. load voltage equal to V2. And in the primary winding side we have the supply voltage actually. What is supply voltage? Input voltage. Simply supply voltage is nothing but the V1. Supply voltage is nothing but the V1. This is about the primary winding side parameters and the secondary winding side parameters. Okay. And before transformer characteristics and this class transformer characteristics, we have only one difference. The difference is it consisting of the primary winding resistance reactance, secondary winding resistance as well as reactance. Right. Next, we will draw a phasor diagram regarding this complete equivalent circuit. So this is the phasor diagram of the complete equivalent circuit. So this gives the phasor diagram. This represents the phasor diagram. So look at here. First, you have to write the first any phasor diagram. First of all, you have to write like this. The phasor diagram is first you have to draw the induced EMF first minus E1. First you have to draw this minus E1. And the flux produced by the transformer is 90 degrees lags with the EMF. That's why this is the flux produced by the, just write it as the x-axis. And next you have to write the, again just leave that. And next you have to write the load voltage V2, this, because always induced EMF is V2 have some phase. So in order to understand clearly, just you have to make two equations. That equations are two equations. The equations are, look at here. We can write the E1 is V1 is the supply voltage. We can write it as this drop plus this drop. This drop is nothing but E1 simply. So I can make it like this. That is supply voltage V1 equal to, I can write it like this. This is I1 R1 plus J I1 X1 minus E1. Look at here. This is the drop, this is the drop, this is E1. Next, we can write E2 equal to I2 R2 plus J I2 X2. Simple formula. Look at here how it is. So E2 is source and I2 R2 is one drop, I2 X2 is one drop and V2 is another drop. So now you can write it as, that's why here this is the source and this is the drop and this is the voltage. Here this is the source, this is the drop and this is the voltage. That's why I make it equations like this. So E2 equal I2 R2 plus J I2 X2 plus V2. And the supply will satisfy the load. So that's why we have to write. So from this first you have to draw minus E1. Why you have minus E1? Always induced EMF in primary is minus. That's why we will get the minus E1 here. And exact opposite E2 here plus first don't make E2. Just observe here. Next, in the secondary case we have V2. V2 is the supply voltage. First you have to draw this V2. And assume that load lagging load, assume that. So whenever the load is lagging, automatically current lags voltage by some angle. We don't know that angle. Take it as phi 2. So that's why load current I2 lags V2 by some phase phi 2. So load is lagging, that's why load current I2 lags load voltage by phi 2. So that's why V2 is here. By lagging the phi 2 we will get high 2. So this is load side thing. And first we have to make it no load current. That's why always magnetizing current I mu in phase with V. First you draw the I mu here. And IW in phase with E1, IW here. then combine both I mu and IW, you will get the I naught here, right? I naught is here, leave that. And exact opposite of I2 we have the I2 dash, just draw opposite of the I2 dash. Then the combination of I2 dash and I naught will give the I1, so finally we will get the primary current like this, To writing the primary current, first you have to make the load things. The load things are V2 as well as I2. That's why you will get the I naught here. And what is our intention? Our intention is to write the V1. So in order to write the V1, we have E1 and we have to draw the I1R1 and I1X1. So I1 is here, so E minus E1 is here. Then by adding the I1R1, this is parallel to the I1. I1R1 is parallel to the I1. And with 90 degrees phase, you have to write the I1X1. So we have to write the I1X1. I1R1, I1X1. And the combination of minus E1, I1R1, I1X1 will give the V1. Look at here. This is the final V1. Will give the V1 here. Okay. Next, what about this? V2 is there and I2 is there. By in phase with I2 we will get the I2R2, and 90 degrees with I2R2 we will get the I2X2. Then E2 equal V2 plus I2R2 plus I2X2. That's why E2 equal I2R2 plus J I2X2, then plus V2 will give the secondary induced EMF. Understand? So we have to write some points regarding this. And the power factor of primary side means supply voltage V1 and supply current I1. So this is the phi 1, this is the phi 2, and this is the phi naught. Okay, we can note some points here. Input power factor or supply power factor, both are same. We can write input power factor between V1 and I1. Is cos phi 1. Right, input power factor means between V1 and it is between the V1 and I1. We will get the cos phi 1. Next, output power factor. Is between V2 and I2. That is represents with the cos phi 2. Okay. This is about the equivalent circuit and complete phasor diagram. Just you remind that the simple thing, in the complete equivalent circuit we have primary side resistance and reactance, secondary side resistance and reactance. By using this, all the equations will be modified. Like this. This is the input power factor and this is the output power factor. Okay, this is about the complete equivalent circuit of the transformer. Okay, thank you.